everybody, and I didn't take care of my notes. Who cares, right? I want the love. I want the love. A few things. Drake is a speaker, meditation teacher, transformation coach, stress reduction consultant, de-escalation trainer, and yoga instructor. But here's the important part, connecting us to our intuition and natural wisdom using a blend of ancient and modern tools and simple, practical practices centered on self-kindness. It's a lot there, but I have to tell you, knowing Drake, that's exactly who this man is. Drake says that by creating the ability to focus on subtlety in the midst of intensity, it kind of feels like how things are, isn't it? We find our authenticity. You can find Drake at drakepowe.com, where he offers online yoga classes, meditation classes, agelessness classes. You can always also book a private wellness coaching session with Drake. I can tell you from personal experience, you're in for something really special and also something really practical. There's every time that Drake speaks, I take something home with me and say, I can do something with this to improve my life. So Drake, I want to thank you on behalf of everyone here. Thanks for blessing us. Take it away, please.
Okay. All right. That's better. All right. Thank you so much. Yes. So, I want to have a conversation today, and I want to frame the conversation around a kind of an unusual statement. And that statement is that the space between doubt and our miracle is stillness. The space between doubt and the miracle is stillness. And so what I want to suggest is that we want to find a way to connect with that stillness. And another framing of that stillness is called love. The space between doubt and our miracle is love. And I'm framing that in a certain way because I really want to connect us with that realization that love and space are connected to each other. When we have space, we have room to be ourselves. The space between the doubt, when we have all the doubt, all the challenge, all the negativity that we see going on, having the ability to get still allows us to find that opportunity to find genius. The great musician Miles Davis said that the space between the notes is stillness. And so we have to find a way to receive that love that's so profound and so deep. There's all kinds of different loves. And every single kind of love is important. The love you have for your favorite barista? Oh man, I love that. I have people I really appreciate. That's an important form of love. The love that you have with your animals, your family, all of these are important kinds of loves. Each of these people is on some level the beloved. And when you're in contact with the beloved, things open up. You have more color. You have more appreciation. You enjoy your life more when you're in direct contact with the beloved. There's the beloved that we have with partnerships, romantic partnerships or best friends. And sometimes those have an arc. Sometimes the individual that is the beloved, suddenly that goes away and they're no longer that. But what I want to suggest is that there's another level of the beloved. It's kind of like the sun. The sun is shining at all times. The sun, it's shining right now. Even when we have this experience with the moon being so full, it's reflecting the light of the sun. So this light is so very, very important. When we have that period of the season where the sun is being blocked, a lot of us deal with elements of depression. It's important that we get this light. Well, I want to suggest that there's two great lights. There's two great stars that we receive light from. We are solar creatures. We receive that energy from the sun, but we also receive it from our heart. The heart is also the sun. You know, I do this thing all the time, and, you know, let's just do it right now. So on the count of three, I'm going to ask everyone in the room, on the count of three, close your eyes. 1, 2, 3, point to yourself. And then open your eyes. Now, as you gaze around the room, you're going to find that almost everyone, not necessarily everyone, but almost everyone is pointing right here. Right? They don't point to the gut. They don't point to the head. I have noticed that the more that we do Zoom meetings, more people point to the head. I find that interesting. Right? But what I want to suggest is that when we're caught up in the head, we're caught up in a space that doesn't give us enough room. It's not wholeness. It's a fractured element. And that's what we see going on in the world. This fracturing, this separation. We find it on all kinds of different levels. If you're into Star Wars, there's message boards where people are being super mean to each other around Star Wars. It doesn't matter what it is. Crafting. I'm not into crafts, but I'm sure there's some mean messages going across about crafts. Okay? But what I want to suggest is that this is part of what is sort of infectious right now, this reactivity. This life gives us a great opportunity. It gives us the opportunity to either become our best self or our lesser self. It gives us the opportunity to be either responsive or reactive. You know, it gives us the opportunity to be either resilient or chaotic. And when we step into this relationship with the true beloved, and that beloved is you are the beloved. Your life is the beloved. You are here to have a relationship with yourself where you realize that you're the beloved and you deserve love every day of your life. The biggest days, the days where you get the Academy Award, the days when you lose your job or you go through a divorce, you're equally deserving of love. Absolutely every single day. That love shines from inside out. It's your authentic self. It's your authenticity. That is your love. Nobody has to tell you when you enjoy food, right? You know, that's really tasty. No, you feel it. That's your authenticity. Same thing with music. When music feels authentic to you, when you hear a chord that's off, you may not have any training with music, but you can tell that's off. Now, what I'm suggesting is that this time is a time to find that love. It is that authenticity. Now, just as the sun can be covered with clouds, so can that heart be covered with clouds. We shine from the heart and from the face. When we're shining, people turn towards the sun. You know, when you are shining in the presence of children, they shine too. They brighten when they're around adults who shine. And their face darkens when they're around adults who put them down, who don't have open hearts. So this love, that is the space between doubt and the miracle. When we have that moment of doubt and we can settle down into stillness and find that contentment. I'm very into words, and contentment means inner wholeness. That's what the word means. Inner wholeness. A wholeness that is not diminished by what we see in the world. It's a balancing in the inner and the outer world. When we come across that reactivity, we want to recognize if the person that we are in contact with is committed to being reactive more than we are committed to our ability to be responsible. You know, the ability to respond, that's what responsibility means. If we are becoming reactive rather than moving towards our great mission in life, we're going to shift to their perspective. If they are filled with poisonous emotions, we're going to find ourselves also filled with poisonous emotions about them. But what I want to suggest is that we can set limits and still be in that love. That love is this unconditional yes. I've talked about this many times. I'm 62 years old. I feel like I was born to be 62 years old. I feel like when I was 13, I was already 62 in preparation. And the first sign for me, there was a couple signs. One of the signs was when I was in this library. It was the science fiction book club, and all the dorks from the region were all in this one room. And I realized, wow, I'm a dork. Yeah. Another was when I kept telling the same jokes over and over and over again, to the point where other people were like, oh God, here's that joke again. But one of my favorite ones is if someone throws out a piece of plywood on your driveway and you go up and step on it and try to pick it up, it really does not matter how hard you work. You can strain, you can have the veins busting out of your head. You can go out there every day, 8 hours a day. You're never going to be able to lift it while you're standing on it. We're never going to see the sun while we're blocking its light. We block its light with our opinions, our self-righteousness, our inability to listen. So this spaciousness comes from an ambient field of yes. I want to give you a secret that I learned early in my life, that I didn't learn it until I got much later, probably in the last few years. What I learned is that you cannot hate your life and love yourself at the same time. They're intimately connected. If you're hating your life and feeling like you're going to be loving yourself, you're kidding yourself. Right? We have to find a way to love ourselves in the midst of what is. And that means by saying yes, an ambient field of yes, meaning that no matter what's going on in the world, our purpose is to be present and just be in that space. Not to shape the space, but allow our presence to shine through us by connecting ourselves with the ability to get fully in the moment. That's what resilience means. Resilience, the word resilience, read means to do again. Resilience means to notice excellence that other people miss. It means to notice beauty. When you notice beauty, you're resilient. It's about balancing the inner and the outer world. So right when you find that trigger, I'm asking you to do something in real time, right then, that connects you with grounding. Every single day, I want to encourage you to do something that grounds and soothes your nervous system. Every single day of your life. Don't wait till you feel like you need it. Don't wait till you feel like you're stressed. Is that how you do your engine? You wait till you hear grinding before you put oil in there? No. You have to lubricate before there's a need. So every single day, I want to suggest that you step into nonlinear de-escalation. A nonlinear de-escalation is when you de-escalate someone without them being aware that you're de-escalating them. I want to tell you the worst way to de-escalate someone is to tell them to calm down. Right? I mean, they might not even be escalated, but as soon as you say that, they're getting escalated. Right? A nonlinear de-escalation is when you de-escalate someone without them realizing that you're de-escalating them. And the only way that you can do that is kind of like managing up when you have a challenging boss. The only way that you can do that is maintain your relationship to your presence, where you don't lose and become reactive, where you go to sleep because they said something that really upsets you. So with this nonlinear de-escalation, I want to say the first thing that has to happen in a nonlinear de-escalation is you have to de-escalate yourself first. If you're sitting on a couch and having an intense discussion with someone, and suddenly the couch you're sitting on bursts into fire, the discussion is no longer the number one priority. You got to put out the fire that you're sitting on before you can deal with their fire. So we automatically begin to do things on a regular basis. We set up plans. We set up templates. The best time to do a fire drill is not when the fire is happening. We set up templates that we do and have practice with so that we know when an unexpected conflict comes up. We know what we're going to do. We're going to slow our breathing down. We're going to go through a very simple process that allows us to maintain our own focus. We already talked about this. The space is the space that happens before the miracle. If you have no space, you can't step into genius. You have to be able to breathe to step into genius. You have to be able to be aware of your breath to step into genius. Respiration and inspiration are connected. You have to be consciously and intentionally breathing to step into genius. And you never do that when you're just upset with someone. Now, what we're talking about, this spaciousness allows us to be in the space. This is not a conversation where we're discussing that you can't feel what you're feeling, because that's not spaciousness. What we're working to do is to interrupt the secondary emotion. Remember, the primary emotion is how you feel about a situation. And remember, how you feel about a situation is an experience. It's like the clouds. The clouds are not the sky. The sky is what is beyond the clouds. If we identify with the clouds as the sky, we're going to insist that they maintain. We are not our emotions. And so balancing the inner and the outer world is right when they do something that feels reactive, we do something right then that we feel is grounding and gives us agency. A great example is drinking water. Simply drinking water and having water with you, say if you're going to have a challenging meeting, have some water with you. Be sipping on that water. Just that alone begins to shift the focus. We want to make sure that when we balance the inner and the outer world, if you're carrying 75 pounds with one arm, that's going to be really, really hard. I want to suggest it's easier to carry 100 pounds, 50 in each arm, than to carry 75 in one. So with all that's going on in the world, you have to find your center of gravity. If your center of gravity is external to who you are, which is right here, this is your authenticity. If your center of gravity is external, you can't carry this weight. It's too much. There's too much going on. Right? So right when we feel that activation, we want to do something that grounds and calms us, and we want to do it in real time. And I'm suggesting, and we're going to go through a few right now, I'm suggesting that you create nonlinear de-escalation with yourself. With yourself. When you surprise the other person, that's when they de-escalate. When you do something they don't expect, that's when they de-escalate. The only way to surprise them is if you surprise yourself. The way to surprise yourself is to begin to do practices. Here's a great example. Writing down on a piece of paper, like every calming practice that you know. And I always suggest people write down a list of 10 state changers. Your state is the bubble that you find yourself in. Your bubble is your emotions. When you find yourself in that state, we want to be able to do something that pops that state. Remember, the primary emotion is anxiety sometimes. What we want to do is interrupt the secondary emotion, which means that we want to learn how to not be anxious about feeling anxiety. We want to learn how to not be angry when we feel anger, not be angry that we are angry. We want to allow ourselves to feel depressed. We don't want to be depressed that we're depressed. The secondary emotion is where we have power, and that's where the love is. When we love ourselves so much that we can sit with ourselves and allow ourselves to have this challenging emotion about this challenging time, it's compassionate. This is tough stuff that we've had going on. This is active compassion, and by finding compassion for ourselves, we're able to radiate it out. So what I'm suggesting that you do is you write down different breathing techniques, different meditation techniques, ways of shifting your state. If you jump into an ice cold lake, I want to guarantee you, you're not going to be thinking about politics for at least a moment. Right? Begin to write a list of these practices that take you out of your head and get you into your body. Not the judgmental relationship with the body, but just the visceral experience, the tactile experience of it. That's why things like, knitting can sometimes be very effective for stress reduction, because it's tactile, right? Taking an ice cold shower. This is a state changer. Taking a hot bath with Epsom salt. This is a state changer. You may not think that giving yourself this self-care on a regular basis, taking a hot bath with Epsom salt is doing something to help the world, but it is. You improving your relationship with the world helps the world. You feeling more hopeful brings more hope to the world. In a world that has so much darkness, believe me, if you have a light, that means that's something special. Even if you're just lighting one room. I've told this story so many times. You know, I grew up, and by the way, I just want to suggest to you everything's going to work out. Everything's going to work out. Now, I'm not saying it's going to work out necessarily the way we like. But if we say yes, if we're in this ambient field of love, we're going to find out there's some elements of it's working out that's exactly what we need. I remember being a boy. I was standing on a corner. I did not have a friend in the world, in my house or anywhere else. And I was growing up around all this violence and all this stuff. You know, I was growing up with my cousins in the projects. I was growing up in this community that had a lot, you know, I'm 62. You know, when I was a kid, this is right at the point, you know, in the early 70s, where there was neighborhoods where black people were moving into these neighborhoods, and some of these neighborhoods were not having it. I was standing on the corner and just, if anyone liked me, if anyone would be nice to me. I had this one lady, when I was in 3rd grade, she befriended me. She said, I see what's happening to you. She said, you can come to my house anytime and be safe. That made a difference in my life. I'm 62, I'm still telling you this story. This was a hero, this woman. But she didn't feel like a hero to herself. She was dealing with depression. She was a single parent with 7 kids. I remember when the Pope came in 1977, it was like the Beatles were coming. You know, she was a giant. So when we balance the inner and outer world, we realize that we can do something right now that can make a difference. When you connect in community on any level, you're making a difference in the world. So walking is a state changer. Walking on a regular basis. I want to encourage you. I walk 45 minutes a day. You know, everything that we see going on in the world, or a lot of what's going on in the world, I really feel it viscerally. I want to suggest that most of us are empaths. That means that you are not just feeling your own emotions, you're also feeling the emotions of people around you. And so that works both ways. As an empath, that's what artists are. That's how they're able to, to make a difference in the world. So what we want to do is balance those emotions. So, writing down different techniques that work for you. Lifting weights can do it. Breathing techniques, affirmations, prayers. Remembered prayers. Let's see if I have one. I no longer try to change outer things. They are simply a reflection. I change my inner perception, and the outer reveals the beauty so long obscured by my own attitude. I concentrate on my inner vision and find my outer view transformed. I find myself attuned to the grandeur of life and in unison with the perfect order of the universe. Memorize prayers. The prayer of St. Francis is a great prayer. Have prayers where you give thanks for things working out. These are other ones. Cooking is a great practice. Listening to podcasts, that's a great practice. Please check out ours. Mine is Touching the Edge. There's 900 videos up there, all about 2 to 8 minutes long. Does anyone have anything that they do here that really works for them to help them calm down? Does anyone have anything that they want to share? Because someone will do exactly what you will do, and you'll make a difference by expressing it. Does anyone have any areas? Yes, please, go right ahead.
And I catch myself, I try and send them love and energy. And then that just helps, I guess that's the diffusing or de-escalating a little bit. Because I can feel, it doesn't feel good to feel angry. You're tense, right? So if I just, I don't always do this, but I try to. So.
I love it. We want to realize that emotions are not just describing things as they are, they're also predictive. What you feel most intensely is your prediction for your future. And so it's really important for us to interrupt our relationship with our emotions. And I love that one because it's both grounding and it's a positive manifestation. We want to calm our nervous system, and every day we want to do something that manifests a life more abundant. So I love that. Yes, please.
I use laughter a lot.
I do too.
Yeah, try to laugh, and the people I work with, there might be tension in the air, and you start feeling it, and like turn it around with something funny or like making fun of myself helps a lot.
I love it. I love good-natured humor, not mean humor, and not mean towards yourself either. It's really important for us to recognize that our childhood self is always listening to ourselves. So we don't want to make fun of ourselves. But humor, is such an important way. And I want to suggest to you that laughter is actually a practice in and of itself. So I actually, quite often will laugh hard for a full minute. You don't need to find something funny. When you start laughing, what ends up happening is your body actually knows how to laugh. And once you get it going, it'll just jumpstart, and you'll find yourself having this huge laugh. Right? Right? So thank you so much. But it's so important. I saw someone else back there had their hand too. This person back there, they had their hand up for a while. Thank you.
Hi, thank you. I used to teach mindfulness to kids in New York, and one of the things that I still take away that I do now, still working with kids, is I tap my fingers and I say an affirmation. So it's inward and then also brings me back into my body, or tapping. So it's like, I can do this, I can do hard things. And so I'm reminding myself, because I'm quite critical of myself, my inner voice, it struggles sometimes, so that helps me.
I love that. I just want to encourage a slight reframing. You said you are critical of your inner voice. I just want to frame that as a tendency that you've had. So, we want to always give ourselves an out. So thank you very, very much. Did someone over here have their hand up? Okay, so again, write down a list of 10 state changers. And remember, your state is just like imagine you're sitting in a room and suddenly you had this, oh, what's that smell? Oh, are you just gonna sit there? Change your state. Your state is not you. That's what we talked about at the beginning. Love is spacious. In this big room, this wonderful energy. I've been here so many different times. I love this room. It's a vortex. But you can move a lot of different things into this room. It's a choice. This is an intention, what we bring into this room. You are the space that your life is in. And so what I'm suggesting is unconditional love means that no matter what happens in your life, that you have the intention to love yourself and this life as a whole. It doesn't mean that you have to love the particulars or anyone in it particularly. But they're not blocked from your shining. The sun, if you notice, the sun doesn't just shine on nice people. Right? It is the mirror, the cosmic mirror, meaning that you have this ambient field of awareness. Remember that the phrase I am is an affirmation. I am is an affirmation. That's how powerful light is. I am is so powerful, this light of awareness, that anything can come from it. The mirror doesn't just shine on people that you think are attractive. It is an ambient field of yes to what is, and what that does is it gives us the space to realize that something beautiful is happening, even amongst the ugliness. My greatest hero is my boyhood self. I'm talking, I've studied my whole life, and I've studied giants. There's not one of them is a bigger giant to me than my boyhood self. I remember being a boy and having something really bad happen to me, and I was laying there afterwards. And I suddenly felt my adult self was present. It was like the first mystical experience of my life. And ever since then, I always feel connected to that. I always feel like I'm sending positive energy, but I always feel like he's sending me strength. And I feel like with my elder self as well. I'm 62. This life is happening like this. I'm saying yes. So we have grounding and calming techniques, breathing techniques, affirmations, anything that grounds and calms you. Listening to positive music, listening to calming music. Cello music works really well. But I'm also asking you to begin to connect with manifestation. Manifestation are practices like, for instance, asking yourself positive questions on a regular basis. We want to be peppering our whole day with powerful manifestation techniques. So let's do a little bit right now. Let's do some grounding and calming and do some manifestation. So I'm going to ask you to, if you want to stand up. But if you don't want to, you can do this sitting down. Don't force yourself to stand up. We want to respect ourselves. Respect means to look with fresh eyes. So if you're comfortable standing, I'll ask you to stand. Otherwise, just sit. Now, I'm standing with my feet about hip width. My chest is up. My hands are out. Now, whether you're standing or sitting, just start doing backward circles. Slow it down in the shoulders. Slow it down. Your ability for your scapula to go up and down is crucial. Breathe. Arms are up, thumbs are up, backward circles. Feel it. Don't hit anybody. Backward circles. Feel it. Slow it down. Slow it down. I'm going to hook my fingers on either side of the clavicle, stretch the chin up, open and close the mouth, angle it one way, angle it the other way. Be aware of your abdominal wall. Bring that navel in, interlace the fingers, bring the hand behind the head, gently stretch to the back of the neck. Angle it one way, angle it the other way, nice and easy. Don't drop the arms, let the arms relax. Take a breath, bring the right hand up and gently open up the side of the neck. And then the other side of the neck, nice and easy. Now my hands are forward. Pull the shoulder blades nice and tight. Put the tips shoulder blades in the back pocket. Open the heart. This is a sun salutation. Let it relax, breathe. When we don't live with a yes, we live with closed hearts. Let the arms relax. We're going to do that 2 more times. Shoulder blades tight. Tips shoulder blades in the back pocket. Ears over the shoulders. Imagine the chest and the face going towards the sun. Inhale, let it release. 1 more time. Exhale. Shoulder blades tight. Put the tips, shoulder blades in the back pocket. Ears over the shoulders. Open the heart. Let it go. Breathe. Beautiful. Now, this is going to be different if you're sitting down or if you're standing. If you're standing, I'm going to ask you to grab your right wrist. If you're sitting down, I'm going to ask you to bring that left arm and grab that right elbow. Now, either side, now we're going to bring the head the opposite way, which is a stretch through the neck. Let it go. Switch the arm. Either grab the wrist or the elbow and bring the head to the other side. Stretch through the neck. Now make goalposts with both forearms. I'm going to go to the side. Rotate the forearms back. Bring the chest up, ears over the shoulders. Let it relax down. Breathe. We're waking up our posture. Your emotions get stuck in your posture. I'm going to do it again. Rotate. Chest up, ears over the shoulder. Let it relax down. Breathe. 1 more time. Rotate. Chest up, ears over the shoulders. Now let it go. Breathe. Now I'm going to ask you to go ahead and have a seat again. Now your head, we want to recognize there's a lot of different ways of dealing with stress that are not directly related in the area that we feel the stress. We may not be aware of it, but how we hold our head creates stress in our life. If you walked around with a bowling ball like this, you don't think that would be stressful? Your head sticking out is about the weight of a bowling ball. So we want to help the neck, support the neck. So the chin is level, come forward, come all the way back, guide yourself deeper, relax the neck and shoulders. We want to stack that head on the neck. We're going to do it again. Come forward, come all the way back, guide yourself deeper, and release. 1 more time. Come forward, come all the way back, and relax. Now just a little bit more. The right hand is on the left shoulder. See if you can place that right ear on the front of the right shoulder. Feel it out. Breathe. Left hand is on the right shoulder. See if you can place that left ear on the front of the left shoulder. Feel it out. Now let it go. Now I'm going to ask you to take a magnificent breath in. Big yawn. Oh, wow. I saw some people get happy when they yawned. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, when we yawn, it raises our level. Also, sometimes when we have a good cry, we all need to open ourselves to that. Sometimes the heart's expression is through tears. Right? Now I'm just going to ask you to activate the de-escalation template. Now we call this a de-escalation template because we want to get really good at doing it when something is going really not the way we want it to. Sometimes it happens very suddenly. You never know on a day what news you're going to hear. So right now, I'm going to ask you to practice it. So right now, tongue is in contact with the roof of the mouth. Right when you have that person cut you off, slow your breathing down. Slow your breathing down right now. Breathing slowly and easy. Resilience is always in the moment. It's always in the moment. Slow the breathing down. Drop awareness into the lower abdomen, an inch below the navel, half an inch in. Some people call it the hara. Some people call it the lower dantian. Slow the breathing down. Drop awareness into that spot. Now open your awareness wide. See if you can have a sense of the space in this room. Isn't it spacious? And right in the center of the chest, just envision a light shining out, shining like a great white star, shining in every direction at once. I am. Slow the breathing down. I am. Notice some subtle detail. Your ability to notice subtlety is self-mastery. I am. Now just breathe. I'm going to ask you to do a simple exercise. As you exhale, I'm going to ask you to just begin to turn your head slowly to the right. Go slow. Don't go too far. Inhale, slowly coming back to center. Go slow, very slow. Go slowly to the left. Inhale, slowly back to center. Raise your chin, not too high. Inhale to neutrality. Last time, exhale, lower the chin. Inhale, come up. Now just feel the breath coming in and out, breathing slowly and easy. You know, breath is amazing. You know, it's not just air, it's actually energetic. So some people call it prana. Breathe in that energy, breathe in that air, and recognize that that breathing in is healing every cell of your body. It's happening right now. Breathing in the light. Now exhale out any doubt, any anger, any judgment. You know, some people do it by visualizing smoke. So exhaling out that toxicity. Breathe in the light. Exhale out toxicity. Take one more breath. Easy. Now practice it. You can have your eyes open or closed. You can practice what some people call shikantaza, which means simply being. Just notice the echo of that practice. Notice if it worked for you or not. Eyes opening. So just feel the aftermath. How did that feel? Did that feel okay? Did it feel bad? Whatever way you felt is okay. So what I want to suggest, just like learning, all of us learn differently, and all of us relax differently. But that process will work for a lot of people. But how did that feel? Did that feel okay for you? Yeah. So what I want to suggest is every morning doing a grounding practice very quickly after you wake up. Drink a glass of water, open your posture, and do grounding practice. Now, stepping out of grounding practice, from there we want to step into manifestation practice. And what I want to suggest to you is your intuition is the closest thing to your authenticity. When you get that feeling, it's time for me to leave. You know it, right? When you get a certain feeling, you know it. We want to recognize that we can develop a much closer relationship with that intuition when we're not blanketed all the time with all of our opinions. You know, when you're absolutely right, you're in danger of being most certainly wrong. Right? The people who do the most damaging things in this world are people who think they're right. Right? And so we want to ground and calm ourselves and then step into a positive manifestation coming from our intuitive leaning. And so we can tell if we're feeling bad that we're saying negative things to ourselves or asking negative questions. So let's just go through, the 7 positive questions. I'm going to ask you 7 positive questions. I'm going to ask you to frame it in a positive way. So the first one is hope. Now this is not just like hope, like I wish things would get better. No, this is hope, like, you know, I have hope for a positive outcome. You know, the day looks pretty good. I have hope for this day. I want to speak about hope. I have the hope that when we realize that how we speak to ourselves matters, that we can make a positive difference in the world. Does anyone have any hopes they want to describe or express to us? Any hope? Okay? I'm asking you to be aware of what you're hoping for and to speak it out loud. You know, remember, what you say with intensity becomes your reality. I have faith in humanity. I have faith that there's a movement of something good that is happening, even though it feels very toxic right now. I have faith in this miracle that we call life. Does anyone have any faith they'd like to express? Yes, please, go ahead.
That people are waking up.
I love it.
Things are scary sometimes, but people are sort of waking up and seeing how bad it is and like it's coming.
I have faith. I love that. Does anyone else want to express any faith? Doesn't always have to be the hugest thing either. It could be, I have faith in my puppy. It's a great dog, you know.
I have faith that people can lessen their fears so that we can look at the true history and what it is, in particular in the state of Minnesota, so that we can look at the past times and each and every one of our ancestors and our ancestral ways and our cultural knowledge, and to look at that and honor the agreements that were made, and to be honest about things in order to move forward in a loving way as a human species.
I love it. We can have that mutuality of respect that goes all the way back. I love that. So we have faith. We have hope. Next question is enthusiasm. What are you enthusiastic about? Are you enthusiastic about your grandkids? Are you enthusiastic about some kind of project? Are you enthusiastic about community? Enthusiasm is yes. I'm enthusiastic. I'm a yes. I'm glad to be here. Does anyone have any enthusiasm they want to express? Yes, go right ahead.
I have enthusiasm, if that's the way you say it. I don't say that word much, it seems like, but I'm enthused that I will lose my fear or lessen my personal fear so that I can step forward and continue to help do these things and help myself and help others. So it takes, you know, you go through these roller coasters, but I have that feeling right now.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you. So enthusiasm, saying yes. Remember, entheos means to be one with God. Okay? So we've done hope, faith, enthusiasm, creativity. How are you creative? I'm creative in inspiration. I get inspired every day. That doesn't mean I'm not, you know, don't have, it's not tough. Yes.
You mentioned cooking. So one of my sisters is staying with me, and she's teaching me the art of creative cooking. Whatever you got in there, you can make a meal of it. You don't have to go to the store or have this elaborate recipe. Whatever's in there, use it.
I love it. And by the way, that's also a metaphor for life. You know, one of my teachers said that life is a form of food. You know, how are you preparing this meal? How are you framing it? How you frame it makes all the difference. Does anyone else have a creative element they want to express?
I started doing a lot of art and drawing, and one of the things I've funneled that into is I love writing letters. I love connecting with people through cards. As my kid said, I'm the person that the Hallmark people make cards for. But I started drawing cards for people, and it gives me more than it gives. And people are enjoying them, and it's a memory and everything, and I love doing it.
I love it. Yes, when you find what you love, that's how you make a difference. How do we make a difference in the world? Find what you love and radiate through that. So I love it. Hallmark cards, I always talk about I want to be in the Avengers. You know, I know it's hard to believe, but I want to be in the Avengers. I want to have one of those special suits. Right? But my superpower is going to be to sit on the couch and be slightly optimistic. I think we can make it. You know, that's a superpower. I love the Hallmark card superpower. So we've done hope, faith, creativity, enthusiasm. Do you have a yearning? Do you have a desire? Do you want to go to Europe? Do you want to write a book? Do you want to take your kids on a trip? Do you want to create a community thing that you connect in community on a regular basis? I have a deep desire for community. You know, community. Unity. I feel like community is the way to go. That's why, you know, I'm into doing, you know, healing circles, Zoom circles, whatever it might be. I have a deep desire for community. You know, when you want to create change, don't focus on darkness, focus on shining light and radiating it. Does anyone have any deep desire? Yes, please, go ahead. Okay.
I recently moved here from Oklahoma, and my main intention in the Twin Cities is to launch the Blue Glass Collective. It's already launched. It's been going for 3 years. We've got people nationwide, but the concept is to combine authentic community with transdisciplinary collaboration toward social intervention. And I believe that the principles that Scott Peck taught around community building are super powerful and fundamental, really, to all of us, and that there's a real opportunity here because these cities are so advanced in some ways. I don't think people who live here, have lived here all their lives, can really realize how unique this place is.
I love it. Thank you. So just the last two questions. Who do you love? And mix that question up. Who do you love right now? Who pops in your mind? Who do you love when you were a kid? Who was your first friend? What's your favorite character since you were a kid? Name a favorite character. Who do you love? And the last question is, what do you love about yourself? What is the romance of being you? And so I want to close here today. You know, it's such a great opportunity so for us to realize there's nothing more powerful than love. When we find that space, we find love. Namaste, my friends. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Normally, I try to pick something that really stood out for me, but there's just too many. There's just too many. And Drake, Powe, Powe.com, and Touching the Edge.
Touching the Edge is my YouTube channel, yes.
Okay, there's your invitation right there, huh? And why don't you just take 20 seconds and just give yourself permission to form an intention. What's one thing today that really touched you that you could take into your life? Just one thing. And just close your eyes and breathe that in as a practice. Breathe that gift. Manifest that gift into your life. Take it in. Make that commitment that this week you're going to do it. And then we'll see you next week. That's terrific. Well done, everyone. Can we please give another round of applause of thanks and gratitude? Yeah, thank you. And thank you for your gift to us. You know, as a volunteer organization, it's because people like Drake show up and bless us every Sunday, and we're ever so grateful for your doing that. Now is the time for our offering, and we are our revenue comes from the people who attend. We're a donation-based, event-based place. So please give generously as you can as the people come down. And also inside the basket is a little Venmo QR code if you want to give that way. And also you can give online at LakeHarrietSpiritualCommunity.org. So thank you. Enjoy the music.
Love is my religion. To find out what this life is worth through the books and Bibles of time. I've made up my mind. I don't condemn, I don't convert. Yeah. This is a calling, have you heard? Bring all the lovers to the fold, 'cause no one is gonna lose their soul.
Thank you so much, everyone. If you please raise your hands and repeat after me. God's perfect love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. Amen. Thank you. It's time now for our closing circle. If we want to form a circle, we got a pretty good group. Maybe, Gary, do you think we can wrap around the main center area, please? Just grab the person next to you and maybe kind of naturally fill in any gaps and expand our circle of love. Stretch across if you can, please. Maybe.
We can do it. We can do it.
Our love is expansive.
We can do it.
There you go.
Yay. Well done, everyone.
So I recall that Beatles song. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, singing songs of wisdom. Let it be. Namaste. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, this week there's lots to do here, and pick that grounding and manifestation practice and get on that right now, right? Do it. And hey, as we leave now, why don't you just take a moment, the person next to you, and one last little bit of love and a smile, and send people out with a warm cheer and a warm greeting.
I love your presence.
Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you this week.